that red lock slides out, and then you press down. The problem was I actually had to get pliers and grab the plug and pull it out, and it broke as I pulled it out. But the only thing that was holding it on was the fact that that plug was just damn fused to the connector. There's a few points that you have to take precaution on. You have to get this out from the bracket. You could undo the bracket, but I've never done that. It's probably the smart thing to do. And that silver tube in the back, you don't want to bend it. And this transmission dipstick, this is the device, and it goes right in there, and there's the tube here, which means that the bolt that I need to get to is underneath that tube, and then the other bolt that I got to get to is just underneath the unit itself. I can probably get the both with a socket. I'm going to try to. Come on, baby. There we go. There's a hose kind of getting in my way. Pull that off. Okay. Okay, that's the electronics. Okay. So, not fun. Pretty scary. Now, if you're having trouble seeing, then that's exactly correct, because I can't see either. Alright. I cannot see what I need to see, which is the plate, which means that it's probably stuck on the engine, which is good and bad. Fit it around here. See this tube here that goes down to your transmission, and if you bend that, then good luck. Okay. Okay, now if you've gotten this far, you got the EGR off. There's usually corrosion inside, not say corrosion, carbon buildup. Carbon buildup. And if there's that, that could mean that there's also carbon buildup on the engine itself, inside. And if it gets thick enough, then that could be tripping the code by itself. So you go to all this trouble to replace the EGR, and you start the car and the EGR is bad again. So I've got this mechanic's mirror, and I'm going to put my flashlight at my mouth, like this. But the idea is you put a mirror somewhere around here so that you can see back towards the engine. And if it's clogged, unclog it. I'm going to use my mechanic's broken piece of, try and scrape around a little bit and probably puncture something important. Now you have to check this surface and get it all clean. There's pretty little more B12 in there. Try and get rid of some of that junk. That's it. Don't handle this with your hands, by the way. It'll kill you. It's like eggs and cheese will. Yeah, but in all seriousness, probably I'm a real stupid person, so don't do this stuff that I'm doing. I'm looking at the plenum gasket, and there's no cracks, there's no visible damage. I'm looking at little things like this, these little twists, and I don't like that. It should not be like that. It's probably over worrying on my part, but I'm going to replace this. This is the plenum gasket. This is a plenum gasket from O'Reilly. This is a gasket that came with the EGR valve that I bought for free. This is one that I got from the Dodge dealership. This cost $18. When you buy a plenum gasket, it comes with 2 EGR gaskets free. This box that had these 3 items in it cost $11. This gasket that you get from a Dodge dealership costs $16. A common complaint is getting this EGR tube back into the plenum. It should look like that when you're done. Most of the time, it looks like that. It's not an easy thing to do. One thing that's kind of tripping me up a little bit is this little metal seal. If I put it on there like that, it doesn't quite line up. If I flip it over, it doesn't quite line up. And there's a ring that goes around it that's bent in. I'm not sure which direction that goes. They're about the same. There's no discernible difference. I would say that the ring should go toward the EGR. But I don't know. So I'm going to try it like that and see if it works. If it doesn't, then oh well. There are little notches in here, and the bolt won't directly fit through it. but that's actually a good thing. Take the bolt, push it through. When it meets that, you can screw the bolt in a little bit. Alright, so I've got the seal and the bolts, and nothing's going to fall off. I'm probably doing the wrong thing, but I'm going to put it in just like this without the tube on the side. Try to make sure when you're doing this that you don't put extra dirt on the surface, because that will hurt the seal that you're working so hard to maintain and that you did all that cleaning for. I'm going to get to just to the point where I need to start torquing it. I'm going to find out at what torque I'm supposed to actually use. It's on there now. The bolts are just about finger tight. I heard a couple snaps, which really freaked me out there for a second, but I realized it was just the little plate. As the bolts go through this, eventually this plate is going to meet up with the surface, and then it's not going to be able to move anymore, but the threads are still going to keep on digging into it. So if you hear those snaps, that's just that bolt digging into that. Or you're destroying something. One of the two. EGR valve mounting bolts, 23 foot-pounds. Okay, 23 foot-pounds. And the EGR2 gasket works in a similar way. It's got these little notches. It should smash a little indentation. Here's the one that I took off. You can see a little smash on there. And that's okay. One started. Check the pins before I install it. Should just go on. So the EGR is bolted back on, 23 foot-pounds, and then this should be at 95 inch-pounds, the EGR tube. Now for the incredibly not fun part. There's a lot of things to be careful of. These right here, if you set it down on top of it and then squeeze it down, it'll damage that. There's the ignition coil, and it costs about $100. It's not fun. point here where you say stop. If you go any further, you're going to destroy it. If you thought drilling into aluminum was bad, you should try plastic. When your body tells you to stop, you gotta stop. Stop. Now this is the tricky part. What I have to do is I'm going to have to take the plenum and tilt it up, and then take the pipe and stick it in the back, and then drop it back down. That's a job and a half. You can see that it is almost entirely flush. I'm going to call that good enough. Something that's happened to me before, I get that on there finally, and then I bolt the plenum down, and then I look at it again, and it has somehow come off. And the last it has slid out. It's supposed to be torqued down to 110. On the hose. 2 hose. And 3 hose. Snip it. Hey. That shouldn't scare me, but it does every time.